Title: The Echo in the Fog. Chapter 1: The Call from the Dead. The night was restless, the kind where sleep feels like a distant promise. I'm Ethan Graves, a forensic psychologist who'd once thrived on decoding the chaos of broken minds. That was years ago. Now I live quietly in Ashwick, a town swallowed by fog and routine. It was just after 2 a.m. when my phone jolted me awake, vibrating on the nightstand like a trapped insect. No caller ID, just a voicemail waiting, its red glaring in the dark. I pressed play, expecting a telemarketer or a glitch. Instead, a voice I'd buried 10 years deep clawed its way out of the static. Clara Henshaw, my patient, gone since Black Hollow Asylum burned down a decade ago. Her tone was sharp, chillingly clear. You were wrong, Ethan. I was never insane. Now, it's your turn to see. The message cut off, leaving a hiss that lingered like a ghost in the room. My hands fumbled as I replayed it, her rasp slicing through me. Familiar, raw, the voice I'd heard in session after session. Clara had vanished, no body, no trace, after the fire. I'd assumed she'd perished, another casualty of my failure to listen. I traced the call, my fingers numb on the screen. The origin flashed. Black Hollow Asylum, a place I'd thought was dead, abandoned on the edge of town. I can still feel the weight of that moment, the guilt I'd carried like a stone in my chest. Clara had begged me to believe her, said something stalked her, something real. I'd called it delusion, locked her away. Now, her voice reached across death, pulling me back. I grabbed my coat, a flashlight, my car keys, and drove into the fog, the night swallowing me whole. Chapter 2: Into the Asylum. Black Hollow rose from the mist like a forgotten nightmare, its silhouette jagged against the gray sky, windows shattered, walls streaked with black rot. The air was damp, thick with the stench of mold, and something metallic, sharp enough to sting my throat. I pushed through the rusted gate, its hinges screaming, and stepped onto the cracked courtyard, my flashlight cutting a thin path through the gloom. The entrance gaped open, doors hanging loose, swaying in the wind. Inside, the lobby was a mausoleum, tiles cracked underfoot, furniture toppled like fallen soldiers, dust swirling in my beam. But something caught my eye, footprints, fresh, smudged across the floor, leading into the shadows. My heart thudded. The asylum had been sealed since the fire, boarded up, condemned. No one should be here. I followed the tracks, past a reception desk cluttered with faded charts, their edges curling like dead leaves. A stairwell yawned ahead, descending into darkness. Then, a sound, soft, deliberate, a tap like a coin dropping on stone, echoing from the upper floors. I swung my light upward, the beam trembling. Nothing but peeling paint and silence. My breath fogged in the frigid air. I wasn't alone. I could feel it, a presence pressing against the edges of my senses. Chapter 3: The Whispering Walls. The stairs groaned as I climbed, each step sinking slightly under my weight, the air growing colder, heavier. The second floor stretched into a corridor of locked doors, patient rooms, their barred windows black as voids. My flashlight danced across the walls, catching a flicker, a shadow, long and thin, sliding past a doorway. I froze, breath held, waiting for footsteps, a sound. Nothing came. The shadow was gone, leaving only the hum of my own pulse. One door stood ajar, room 17, Clara's room. I pushed it open, hinges whining, and stepped inside. Files littered the floor, medical charts, her name in bold. Clara Henshaw, paranoid, delusional. But beneath them, a journal, its cover cracked leather, pages spilling out. I knelt, flipping it open. Her handwriting was frantic, ink smeared. There in the walls. They see everything. Ethan won't listen. A whisper brushed my ear. My name, soft, then louder. A chorus of voices weaving together. The walls pulsed, a low vibration rattling the floorboards. I spun, light slashing the room. Empty, but the hum grew, seeping from the plaster. My mind raced. Fatigue? Imagination? No. The journal trembled in my hands, real as the dread pooling in my gut. Clara had seen something I'd missed. Chapter 4. The Patient Who Knew Too Much. The journal was a map, guiding me deeper, down a hidden stairwell, past wards choked with debris, into the basement. Clara's entries turned desperate. It's not human. It takes us when we know. The mirror hides it. My stomach twisted as I reached the basement, a cavern of damp concrete, the air thick with rot. A cracked mirror leaned against the far wall, its surface smeared with grime. I wiped it clean, my reflection pale, distorted. Then she appeared, Clara, faint in the glass, her face gaunt, eyes locked on mine. Her lips moved. Look deeper. I stumbled back, flashlight clattering. She wasn't there when I turned, just the empty room. But the mirror clicked, a panel sliding open. Inside, a metal box, rusted shut. I pried it open, photos spilling out, patients, staff, all frozen in blank stares, time-stamped the nights they vanished. One photo stopped me, 10 years ago, in this basement, holding a recorder, my face calm, oblivious. A memory flickered, sharp and wrong. I'd been here, investigating Black Hollow's shutdown. Clara's voice echoed from the walls. You knew. You let them take me. My knees buckled. I hadn't just failed her. I'd been part of it, and my mind had buried it deep. Chapter 5. The Truth That Sees You. The hum swelled, a pulse that shook the room, my skull. Memories crashed in. Black Hollow's final days. Me interviewing Clara, her screams as I walked away. She'd warned me about the Watchers, the thing in the walls. I'd called it madness, left her restrained. The fire came after, an accident, I'd thought. But now I saw it. No accident. Something had taken her, taken them all, and I'd turned away. Footsteps thudded behind me, slow, heavy. I turned, my light catching a figure, too tall, its edges melting into shadow, eyes glinting from a void where a face should be. The walls cracked, slits opening like pupils, staring down. Clara's voice rasped. It's us. It's always been us. The truth hit me. I'd been complicit. Black Hollow wasn't a building. It was alive, a predator that consumed minds, trapping souls in its frame. Clara hadn't called me. It had, using her voice to lure me back, to finish me. The figure stepped closer, its hum deafening, pulling at my thoughts, my sanity. I wasn't just a witness, I was prey. Chapter 6. The Final Choice. I ran, the figure lunging, shadows coiling like tendrils. The halls collapsed around me, doors slamming, walls groaning, as I raced for the lobby. The exit was sealed, the air thick with fog seeping through cracks. My flashlight flickered out, plunging me into black. The hum was inside me now, clawing at my mind. Faces emerged, Clara, the others, their eyes pleading, accusing. Stay with us. A mirror glowed ahead, pristine, my reflection young, smiling, recorder in hand. See, it whispered, join us. The asylum offered truth, my role in their fates, a place among them. Or I could fight, live with the guilt. I grabbed a pipe from the floor, smashed the mirror. Glass exploded, the hum stuttered. The doors flew open, fog rushing in like a tide. I stumbled out, collapsing in the gravel as dawn pierced the mist. Black Hollow stood silent, its windows dark. I'd escaped, but Clara's voice lingered. You'll see. My hands shook as I drove away, her words a splinter in my mind. I'd won, or I'd lost everything. Some truths don't free you, they bind you forever. Thanks for watching. Keep learning, keep growing, one story at a time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more.